Hello, it's the Bad Mini Painter, and today we're going to try to paint up an apothecary. Apothecary. Mm, yeah, brilliant. So I decided to paint him off his base due to reasons, and this is how you do not load them to a template base. But it's a pretty cool model, and white is always fun to see if you can get a decent result out of. So yeah, so I base coated the model white, and then I decided to go over it with the light gray wash. I think it's called German tank wash, something like that, from Vallejo. And I give it a fairly heavy coating. And afterwards I go in with the white star from two thin coats, and I do exactly that. I thin it down quite a lot with water, so it goes on kind of like a fog, or it's severely diluted. Afterwards it's Retributor armor, and that's for all the decorations on his armor, like the skulls and all that good stuff. And then Abaddon Black, and that is for all the joints. It's also a model, like, it's really heavy on the white, so it is a model where you want to add color wherever it is possible without turning it into a clown, I guess. Lead Belcher for the metal. I know, I'm a rebel. So he has this thingamabob he drags around. So that gets a heavy coating of lead belcher. The same for the hoses and his little arm thingamabob. It's a weird model, right? It is quite weird. Anywho, so generally all the metal parts gets a base layer of lead belcher. Flayed one flesh for the sigils, the parchment of the purity seals, whatever it's called. Mornfang Brown for his gun holster and all the little bags and things on his belt. And again, I actually kind of liked how the armor looked, so I was super careful not to hit it with anything. Mephiston Red for his little piece of fabric, his tool belt thing. I don't know what this is, but it looks interesting. And also the wax on the purity shield. I need that too. There's also some red decorations here and there around on the armor and the gun, and I use Mephiston Red for those as well. Then it's time for Reichland Flesh Shade to shade all the gold. Yes, that makes sense. And Agrax Earthshade for the leather, and also the parchment on the purity steel. And then black wash from the army painter on all the lead belcher part, and I decided to give it a fairly heavy coat. I like this wash because normally it's pretty thin, so it don't do a lot of discoloration. But here I felt like a thick coat would help me get the result that I wanted, which was really to bring out all the definition. Yeah, and as I mentioned, Agrax Earthshade for the purity seal as well. And then I take Basilicanum Grey. It's a contrast paint, and when I looked at the box art, this weird bag thingamabob equipment, I should know what this is called. Anywho, it had some dark panels on it, and I decided to achieve that by using a contrast color. And the same thing for the light, Bad Moon Yellow. it's a bright yellow contrast, which means that I can just put it on without worrying about hitting the silver, because if anything, it's just a little bit of shine. For the display, I decided to go with the Warpstone. I think it's might called Warpstone Green, but Warpstone. Also from Citadel. It's a Necron color. No, Warpstone, that must be Skaven from Fantasy. Anywho, that. And then Mood Green towards the bottom to add a little bit of light effects. And I actually decided to go ham on the light effect and add some white later on. Back to Flayed 1 Flesh to add the skulls on the gun, which I totally overlooked and forgot on the first go through, and to brighten up the parchment. Then the windows on this, I'm just going to call it a thingamabob. I decided to follow the box art, which meant that they were blue. So first I went in with the Kaldor Sky, and then towards the bottom I used the Temple Guard blue, and I go about 30% up, and then finally I stipple on Blue Horror right near the bottom to get this glowy effect kind of thing. Stormhost Silver for all the metal highlighting. And in this case I decided to go pretty heavy on it, especially on the equipment arm thing. Soulstone Blue for all the lenses. And I decided to cover this up with my hand as good as I could. Soulstone Blue is a technical paint from Citadel, and it has the effect of drying up glossy. That was the word I went for. And finally, a light grey wash for very specific places. So in all the crevices. And that is simply to bring out some detail. And the end product looks like this. Oh, I have painted a lot of models, and a majority of them I've painted pretty bad. This is kind of okay. I wouldn't be embarrassed by having this on the battlefield, which is my gold standard, to not be embarrassed, I guess. No, honestly, I kind of liked how this ended up looking, and it was fun and pretty simple to paint. With Space Marines, as soon as you got the armor down, the rest is pretty straightforward. And then there is the challenge of painting a white armor, because it can be difficult, but honestly, a clear white base color, spray, primer, grey wash, and then highlighting with a white, like white scar or whatever, and I think the result is good. Let me hear what you think. I think this is good. Anywho, thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do leave a like and subscribe. Why not? And I will see you soon for another upload. Have an awesome day, and bye.